So February has apparently become a month of me doing things that I don't normally do. I started out the month with an unboxing, which I usually hate filming, but I really enjoyed this one. Then I explored a new genre, and in the process of doing that, I actually stuck to a planned TBR for a video, which I've never succeeded at before. And I'm even beginning to phase out my intro a little bit, which you may have noticed at the beginning of this video. And I'm just kind of continuing that trend with a tech review, because I want to talk about my ReMarkable 2 that I bought back in December. So I've had this for a couple of months now, and I promise this is going to be short and sweet. I don't want to bore y'all with a long tech review. This is just going to be some bullet notes of things that I love, things that I don't love as much about this device, in case you've been thinking about doing this, or if you're like me, also wanting to deal with paper waste and not produce as much paper waste. So that is very much the goal here. That's why I bought this device, and I just wanted to talk through it for a few minutes because I've had it for a couple of months now. I've begun integrating it really into my habits and making it a part of my life, and I've noticed a couple of things that I like and that I don't like. So first off, I bought this because I specifically wanted to stop using so many notebooks. I have a bunch of them now that I have to store. I have a bunch of half-finished reading journals as well. And I just wanted to kind of reduce that paper waste, because I either have to store all of that paper or I have to get rid of it, I have to recycle it. And I don't like having to do that. I don't like generating so much paper waste. So I wanted to look at this, and I had heard of this a couple of times before. In particular, I came back to this device because of R.C. Waldoon, who's another creator here on YouTube. He makes a lot of videos about reading, not quite in like the booktube space, much more like about academic reading, but he's done a video a couple of times on his commonplace books, and he's recently swapped to a ReMarkable for that purpose. And I'm really interested in the idea of a commonplace book. It's just not something that's ever really worked for me. I have trouble like keeping up with that kind of a notebook, but I wanted to try this out for my notes for my last semester of my degree. I'm tired. The grad school is getting to me, so please bear with me while my grammar and my sentence structure goes absolutely everywhere. But I wanted to try this out for this last semester so that I wouldn't have additional notebooks that I had to store at the end of my degree. So I got this back in December, and I've really worked on getting it into my habits, and it's working pretty well so far. So I've already got it on. This is the home screen, and one of my favorite things about it is the ability to organize. I love folders. I have so many folders on my computer. Everything is like organized into folders and subfolders. And so I love that I can make folders on here. So I can make folders, I can make notebooks, and I can make quick sheets. The folders I have are my gaming, my master's degree stuff, my reading notes, which is like non-school related reading notes, and my YouTube planning, where I've kind of started making like a dump doc and planning some thoughts and putting notes down for videos. So those are the folders I've been using. And then I have a couple of other notebooks here that I did start a commonplace. You'll see on this side, directionally challenged there. And I've been using it a little bit, just kind of jotting down some things I need to remember that don't necessarily fit into my bullet journal. Side note, I'm not replacing my bullet journal. I still use that, but those notebooks actually get filled, and I do refer back to them to look at things from previous years. So this is not a replacement for that. I am still bullet journaling. But then I also created something in the middle there called Scatterbrain, which I use for days when I'm really struggling to get focused on any task because I have so many things I need to get done. And I found that it really helps me slow down and figure out what I need to prioritize and actually accomplish some of my tasks. So the Scatterbrain page is just a blank notebook page, and that's it. I just put the date, I put whatever I needed to get done that day on it, and I move on. And it has helped me so much with just kind of slowing down and actually prioritizing the things that are important on a specific day, or, at a specific time when I'm really stressed and busy, and letting go of some of the things that maybe aren't so important. And then this last quick sheets is actually from today. I was filming a different video and I needed to jot down some notes for it. And this was like I forgot to actually put together a page in the YouTube folder. So I made a quick sheet just to jot that stuff down. It's not actually information I need to save, so I'll probably just delete that sheet, but it's fine. I do like having the option to create a quick sheet where I can just tap I need a page right now. So that's been really nice. But in terms of writing, this thing is fantastic. This feels so much like writing on paper, though. I really like the feel of using this. It really, it has that little bit of scratch. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Has just that little bit of scratch that writing on paper has, and I really like the feel of that. Also, I write in cursive, so it's just enough scratch to make it feel like paper, but it's still really smooth, and I can write really quickly on it. So I love the fact that it feels like I'm writing on paper. I also really like the battery life on this. I think some people have complained online that I've seen from reviews that the battery life is fairly short, but I'm actually okay with it. I charge this about once a week. I'm using it for multiple 3-hour classes in a week, and also using it to take notes on readings while I'm preparing for class, and I'm charging it like once a week, and I'm totally fine with that. I know some people want longer battery life on their devices, maybe want to have longer battery life so they have less time that they have to spend like tethered to a wall, or in my case, my desk, it's a USB charger, so it's just plugged into a USB port on my desk. But I actually am totally fine with a week. It's plenty for me to get through my week, and then I just like charge it over the weekend or overnight, and I'm good to go again. So I don't think the battery life is a problem at all. I've been using this for a couple of days now, and I'm at 80%. So I think that it's really pretty good. My main issue with this is that finger taps, it has trouble recognizing. So sometimes if I tap to go into a notebook, it simply will not for a couple of attempts. So I find that a little bit frustrating. Sometimes it doesn't listen to you when you want to go to a notebook. Like here, I'll tap it a few times before I get back in. Try that one. There. Got into that one. But now if I wanted to make a new thing, it recognized that one for me to create a new page. That one's fine. But if I wanted to like zoom in, sometimes it doesn't recognize it. It did this time. You'll see there's like a little zoom thing at the top. And then I can just tap that to go back to normal. But some of the time it just doesn't recognize when I'm trying to do something. So I'll go to like zoom in and it won't work, and I'll do it like 3 more times, and then suddenly it's like gigantic and I'm like, I just need to zoom in a little bit. So I find that a little bit frustrating. It's a little bit hard to manage when it's not wanting to cooperate with me. When I'm having to type multiple times to get, or tap, not type, multiple times to get into a specific notebook or something, that kind of slows me down. I find that a little bit annoying, but it's not like a huge problem, and for the most part it generally works. It will recognize most finger taps. It just occasionally is a little bit sassy with me. So let's see, anything else I want to mention? Oh, I also really like that you can make templates and you can create like different types of notes. So here we are with the finger tapping not working. There we go. I'm trying to get into my notes. So I have some notes from a meeting about my thesis, and these ones happen to be on like what's called the small margin paper. But if I wanted to change that, I can go to, there's a layers thing and a template spot, and there's like 100 different templates. There's not really that many, but there's just like a ton of them, of different templates with different purposes. There's like music paper, there's calligraphy paper, there's perspective lines, there's grids, there's week planners, there's different kinds of grids, there's dot grids of different sizes, there's pages that have grids on like the top or the bottom. There's a checklist. I've used that one several times. So I just love that there is a variety of different templates and different styles of paper that I can use for all of my different needs. So it really makes it a very versatile notebook for almost any kind of note you could actually want to write down. But I'm really enjoying this. I'm finding it works really well and is incorporating really well just into my general lifestyle. It's very small, it's light, it's easy to slip in my backpack. My backpack is much lighter this semester when I'm only carrying this and then like the books that I need. And it's just so easy. The only other thing to mention, I guess, is the pen. It does like the Apple Pen, the Apple Pencil, it like connects to it. I have the Marker Plus, so it has like a built-in eraser, so I can actually erase like I'm writing with a real pencil, and I really like that. And then it came with some replacement nibs. So far, I've only had to replace it once. I've had it since December, and you just start to get to a point where it starts to be uncomfortable to write with. They say, like, in the instructions, like, you'll know when you need to change it, and I did know when I needed to change it. I started having some weird things happening when I was writing. I changed the nib, immediately fixed it, and it was super easy to do because this thing also has a tool for replacing the old nib and instructions on the back for putting in the new one. So it was super easy to do, and the change from a kind of worn down nib to a brand new one is wild. I'd forgotten how smooth it writes when you first put the nib in there. So it was really fun finding that out again. But yeah, I've really enjoyed using this. I think it's a really interesting device. It does have some additional features where you can like connect it to your phone, and I think they have a phone app. I don't have the phone app, but you can put it like on your laptop or your desktop or your tablet. there's like an app that you can get and you can import PDFs. I don't think I even showed you the PDFs. I do actually have a couple. I'll pop one open. So, like, this is an article I'm going to be reading. It's Mud, Mortar, and Other Technologies of Empire by Rajani Sudan. And I can just annotate directly in. The only thing is that my instinct is to like scroll with PDFs. But what that gets you instead is this like little note spot, which I actually really like, that I can add additional notes. It gives me space to do additional notes. So you have to actually like swipe like you're in like a Kindle or you're like in a book to go to the next page. So I keep getting myself confused with that. But I do like that I get that like additional writing space. But you can just annotate directly in there. You can also make the side thing disappear so that you have all of your space open to you, or you can have your little toolbar open. And I just find this is like a really intuitive way to annotate PDFs, which is great because I do that a lot. And I've previously used my iPad for all of this. I use my iPad mostly now as a like YouTube machine and for knitting patterns. It's the one thing I don't ever put on here. I use knitting patterns that are PDFs a lot of the time, but this one is completely in grayscale. You can't use color on it. You can have like colored highlight that is visible in the app on your phone or on your computer, but this is all black and white. So I use my iPad for stuff that I want to color code. Like I color code a lot of my notes and my knitting patterns when I'm like doing multiples of something. I'm doing a sock right now. So like I've written everything in one color for the first sock, and then I'm doing another color to like indicate which notes are from which sock so that I know what I've done where. So for things like that where I want to color code, I use the iPad, but I don't like the squeak on the Apple Pencil, and I find that battery drains really quickly when I'm doing a lot of note taking, and it's just not allowed me to be paperless in a way that I think worked for me. So the ReMarkable has so far very much been the right choice for me, and I thoroughly enjoy using it. It did take me a little bit to get used to kind of working it into my daily habits, but I am getting a lot better at that, and I'm finding it to be a very useful little device. So I think that's pretty much it. That's really actually all of my thoughts on it this time, and I'm gonna stop talking now, but I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting on Tuesdays and Saturdays, mostly book stuff and not typically tech reviews, but this is like a one-off, I promise, and there will be more videos coming soon, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.